I've now been in 57 states. I think one left to go.
Scott, so help me God. Congratulations, Mr. President.
60 years ago, why not have been served on local West. Over the last 15 months, we've traveled to every corner of the United States. I've now been in 57 states. I think one left to go. One left to go. Alaska and Hawaii I was not allowed to go to, even though I really wanted to visit, but my staff would not justify it.
Good morning, everybody. This is Steve Fletcher with the Trumpet for My People. Today is Wednesday, May 5th, 2021. And I want to share with you about the 57 states of Barack Obama, who said he had been to 57 states. Now, I want to show you a few things that I'm seeing connected to this. This was a long time ago, and I'm bringing this up for a reason now. But before we move on, I want to show you that in the Strong's Greek Concordance, 57 stands for agnostis, which comes from the root of agnostic, unknown, unknowable, one who does not believe. 57 states. This is used in one location in the Bible, Acts 17:23, when it says, "Then Paul stood in the midst of Mars Hill, and said, Ye men of Athens, I perceive that in all things ye are too superstitious. For as I passed by and beheld your devotions, I found an altar with this inscription, To the unknown God, whom therefore you ignorantly worship, him declare I unto you." Okay? So Barack Obama said he'd been to 57 states. 57 is the word for agnostic, one who does not believe. The unknown, the unknowable, it has to do with the unknown God. Okay? Now we're going to get back to this, but I want you to see that this is connected to Greece, the Greeks, the men of Athens, and it's on Mars Hill. Okay? We're going to come back to this connection to Mars. Now, let's move on to December 13th, 2017. Okay? Remember, Barack Obama had said he'd been to 57 states. That many people said this is a reference to the 57 Muslim states, and that he is a secret Muslim. Okay. December 13th, 2017, Muslim leaders declare East Jerusalem the Palestinian capital. Istanbul, December 13th, 2017. Leaders and officials of Muslim nations declared East Jerusalem and Palestinian capital on Wednesday at a summit meeting in Istanbul, producing the strongest response yet to President Trump's decision to recognize the city as Israel's capital. So by this meeting, they are wanting to counter Donald Trump's decision to recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital. So the Muslim leaders come together on this summit. The gathering of the 57-member Organization of Islamic Cooperation was held to formulate a unified response from the Muslim world to Mr. Trump's decision last week. Okay, 57 members. Okay, and that's exactly what that video said about Barack Obama. Is that 57 is the referencing the number of Islamic states. Okay. Okay, so here we have a very important covenant with many, referring to Jerusalem, referring to East Jerusalem as the Palestinian capital. Now, there's something else that is very important about this day, December 13th, 2017. December 13th, 2017 was the first day of Hanukkah. Okay? Remember, as we are watching the signs, we need to understand how the signs line up with the Hebrew calendar, with the feast days of God. And this took place on Hanukkah. Okay? This meeting. And what does Daniel 9:26 and 27 say? After 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself. And the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary. The end thereof shall be with a flood. And unto the end of the war desolations are determined. He shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. And in the midst of the week he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease. And for the overspreading of abominations he shall make it desolate, even until the consummation, and that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. Okay? Shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. Okay, was this a covenant with many for 1 week? When we talk about 1 week, we're talking about 7 years. And when we talk about the middle of the week, confirming the covenant with many for 1 week, and in the midst of the week, we're talking about 3.5 years, which is 1,260 days. Okay? So from this declaration on December 13th, 2017, if we go forward 1,260 days, we come to Wednesday, May 26, 2021, and the day of the total lunar eclipse. May 26th, 2021. What does the Bible say about blood moons? Total blood moon lunar eclipses? Joel 2:31. The sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood before the great and terrible day of the Lord come. The sun is dark at night, and the moon is turned into blood. A sign that will come before the great and terrible day of the Lord. Acts 2:20, the sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood before the great and notable day of the Lord come. May 26th, 2021. Okay? Now, I want to show you one more thing here that's very important. A number of years ago, as we were watching the Tetrads, and we were looking at the tetrad that took place, the blood moon tetrad that took place in 2014 and 2015, and we studied that from the time of Jesus Christ, this was the 8th time that the blood moon tetrad had happened. Most recently, it happened in 1948 and 1949, and then it happened in 1967 and 1968. On both of those occasions, it was the rebirth of Israel in the Six-Day War, where Israel took back Jerusalem. That was the 6th and the 7th time a tetrad had happened, and then the 8th time was the 2014-2015 blood moon tetrad. So, but if we look at the list of 21st century lunar eclipses, let's start in 2014. Okay, we're going to go down here. I'll leave a link for this for those of you who want to see this. Let's go to the first total lunar eclipse that took place on April 15th, 2014 of the Tetrad, okay? And let's count the number of total lunar eclipses there has been since then, okay? Total eclipse, April 15th, 2014. Total lunar eclipse, October 8th, 2014. Total lunar eclipse, April 4th, 2015. Total lunar eclipse, September 28th, 2015. There's 4. Going down here to January 31st, 2018. Okay, that's 5. Then we have July 27th, 2018. It's another total lunar eclipse. Now this actually was the 6th lunar eclipse, and this was the longest lunar eclipse of the century. July 27th, 2018, for those who remember that very important eclipse. Then we have number 7 is January 21st, 2019. Okay. Okay. See here, you can this is a really neat site here, and where you can just hover over and it gives you the details of each of these eclipses. Okay. And so the 7th total lunar eclipse, the 7th total lunar blood eclipse, was January 21st, 2019. Now it's interesting to note that since the January 21st, 2019 total lunar eclipse, there has not been another blood moon eclipse until this upcoming one, which is May 26, 2021. So what are we going to notice here? Remember the tetrads? There have been 8 since the time of Christ. Well, from the first total lunar eclipse of that tetrad in 2014, there have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and May 26, 2021 is the 8th. Okay, is the 8th total lunar blood eclipse since the 2014 Tetrad. Okay, and I think that is very significant and very important detail. Now, we have been watching between the hourly watch channel with Patrick and Christina. Thank you, brother and sister, for your understanding and for your forgiveness on what I had shared with you and the error I had made, and I thank you. And I also want to thank Rivka Ministries for bringing this to our attention about the importance of Comet 323 possibly being the sign of the scepter of Shiloh, a comet that was resting beneath the feet of Leo since the beginning of time and did not move until mid 2020. And we have been watching this. Now, quite interestingly, this comet was discovered on December 12th, which everyone knows that is the day that I received my sign in the sun in 2012. It was December 12th, 2012. But this comet was discovered on December 12th, 1999. Okay? And 323, the number of the comet, goes together with Strong's 323, which is a showing forth, the proclamation of an appointment to an office, perhaps rather admission to membership of a society, a showing forth. It's used once in the Bible in Luke 180, Luke 180, and it's talking about the arrival of John the Baptist and his appearance to Israel, his showing forth unto Israel. The child grew and waxed strong in spirit and was in the deserts till the day of his showing unto Israel, the showing forth. The Elijah that was to come, the John the Baptist that was to come. And this is connected to the number 323, and it's connected to the number of this comet. Okay. Okay, one more thing before we close. We started out by talking about Barack Obama having stated that he's been to 57 states. Okay? Connected that to the unknown God and the meaning of 57, which is agnostic. Then we found this passage in Acts 17:22 and 23. It says, Then Paul stood in the midst of Mars Hill and said, Ye men of Athens, I perceive that in all things you are too superstitious. For as I passed by and beheld your devotions, I found an altar with this inscription, To the unknown God. Whom therefore ye ignorantly worship, him declare I unto you. Okay. And we connected this to the Muslim leaders, the 57 states, the covenant with many, and in the middle of the week, and we have from Hanukkah, adding 1260 days, exactly brings us to the total lunar eclipse on May 26th. Okay, which it happens to be the 8th total blood moon eclipse since the beginning of the Tetrad in 2014. Connected to Comet 323 and a showing forth. Okay. Now, one very important detail, and this connects us to the Comet 323 on May 26th, connected just as it is said here in Acts 17:22. Then Paul stood in the midst of Mars Hill. Paul stood in the midst of Mars Hill. Where is Comet 323 on May 26th? In the constellation of Gemini, in perfect conjunction with Mars on the day of the blood moon. 1260 days from the declaration by the 57 Muslim nations that East Jerusalem would be the capital of Palestine. 1260 days. Okay. Mars. Comet 323. May 26th. Paul stood in the midst of Mars Hill and said, Ye men of Athens, I perceive that in all things you are too superstitious. For as I passed by and beheld your devotions, I found an altar with this inscription, To the unknown God. 57. The unknown God of the Muslims. The God of the Muslims, the unknown God. So this is an introduction to what I am seeing. Showing connections in many ways to the importance of the blood moon total lunar eclipse on May 26, 2021. So that's all I have for right now. I pray you are ready for the return of Jesus Christ. And the signs are speaking very, very clearly that Jesus is coming very, very soon. I pray you are blessed tonight. This is Steve Fletcher with the trumpet for my people, the sign of his coming revealed.